mother's watch?
Deck of marked cards. My big toenail.
That's all you got?
Really got nothing left to lose.
That's a look at the historical drama Nickel Boys, telling the stories of two black teens at a reform school based on a notorious real-life institution. It is Eli Glasner's fourth favorite film of this year. He's got a full list of his top 24 movies and moments of 2024, which you can read on our website right now. And Eli is here to talk about this. This is it. This is your last Friday film review of the year.
It is.
And I went through your list, top 24 of 2024. You've got such a great mix of films on there. Let's start with documentaries. What resonated with you this year?
I went to see a documentary called Eno at the Fox Theatre in Toronto. And it was this amazing look at Brian Eno, who is this music producer who has worked with U2 and Roxy Music and Laurie Anderson and so many more. Now, what is so interesting about Eno the documentary is that every time Eno the doc is shown, the doc is a little different, because the director created bespoke software so that every screening of this documentary kind of mixes up the ingredients and the scenes. And so my version contained a wonderful shot of Brian Eno working with Bono and U2. You might see him working with the Talking Heads. You never know what ingredients are going to be in the documentary, because it's different every time thanks to the algorithm. Now, why would you do that? Because Eno himself is this amazing artist who has these strategies for breaking creative blocks. And he is an artist who embraces chaos and randomness in his work. So what an amazing way to make a documentary that is always the same but different. That's my number 23. Let's move on to my number 12, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. This is a look at how in the 1960s, the CIA and other Western countries were trying to quash independent movements in Africa. And so you see Louis Armstrong there. For example, Louis Armstrong was doing a tour of Africa playing jazz music. Little did Armstrong know the CIA was using his tour as a front so they could put their agents in place, because there was an independent movement in the Congo and they didn't want that to happen. Wow. And that is just one story of so many stories that is bringing the world of politics and the push for independence and revolution in Africa together with jazz in America, with Dizzy Gillespie, with Nina Simone, with Miles Davis. And as you might imagine, those two worlds overlap in very interesting ways. Soundtrack to a coup d'etat.
Yeah, it looks very interesting. And, you know, this year we've spent a lot of time talking about big blockbusters.
Yes.
There's a lot of big budget sequels this year. Let's talk about the hidden gems. What are some of your favorite hidden gems this year?
So we had blockbuster challengers, and a lot of people were thirsting after Josh O'Connor. He played the scrappy tennis player Patrick. But before he was Patrick, he was Arthur in a wonderful little film called La Chimera. So this is a movie about a man named Arthur. There he is in his cream-colored suit. And he has a special talent. You know how a dowser will use a stick to see if there's water under the ground? His talent is discovering antiquities. He has some kind of connection to buried treasure. So this gang of Italian thieves use him to rob these tombs. If Fellini made Ocean's 11, it would be a little bit like that movie. It is remarkable. Number 7 on my list is Kneecap. Now, this is a movie about, believe it or not, an Irish hip-hop group. This is The Commitments meets Trainspotting, the true story of this Irish hip-hop band, these lads who went from selling ketamine in clubs, there they are, to spitting rhymes in Gaelic. And other than Michael Fassbender, most of the people, those guys in the band that you see, those are the very real members of Kneecap. And so it gives this hilarious, in-your-face music story a grittiness that cannot be beat. Gaelic hip-hop, who knew? Amazing.
That one looks super fun. All right, let's talk about some action. Any favorite action films this year?
Do you mind a little blood?
I love blood. I love gore. So give it to me.
I have a movie for you, and if you don't, a warning.
Yeah.
But this is a new film that is now on Netflix. It's from Indonesia, and it's called The Shadow Strays. And it's kind of a Jason Bourne-ian setup. So there's this there's this killer named 13, that is her code name, and she is this kind of brainwashed assassin, unstoppable. And so she is doing this thing, doing the job. One of those jobs goes a little wrong, so then she's chilling in Jakarta, and there's a boy. And the boy gets kidnapped. And the movie really takes off when she goes to try and get the boy back. You know how Liam Neeson will go on a mission?
Taken, yeah.
He looks like the babysitter compared to this woman. And the fight scenes, if you are a fan of martial arts, I gasped. Like the audacity.
It's amazing. I started this movie last night.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it. It's 2.5 hours, almost 2.5 hours long. So I'm going to finish it tonight. I'm going to try. But it is, wow, even I gasped. I was like, whoa, the blood, and there's some severed heads in there.
It's the creativity. It's the adrenaline. Like
it is good.
It is remarkable.
Not for the squeamish.
If you like movies like The Raid, if you like this genre, I would say this is a new bar.
All right, I can't wait to finish that tonight. All right. This is it. Out of all the movies you've watched this year, and how many are there? How many movies do you think you've seen this year? What's the ballpark?
I'd say somewhere between 150 and 200.
Oh, wow. Okay, you've whittled that down to 24, and then your top 10. And let's talk about your top 3. What are your top 3?
We're going to start with the movie about the cat.
Yeah.
Flow. I talked about Flow a little while ago. This is a beautiful film about a cat trying to survive a flood. And in a world of animation where we get these unsatisfying sequels, this movie made for a mere $5 million with no dialogue, just this wondrous journey of a cat and other animals trying to survive. I sat down in a movie theater at the film festival. I was entranced for 90 minutes. That is number 3. Number 2 is universal language. Matthew Rankin is a filmmaker from Winnipeg. Matthew Rankin loves Iranian cinema. He actually went to Iran to try and make movies there, went back to Winnipeg, connected with the Iranian community in Winnipeg, and created this film where this is like an alternate reality where it's Winnipeg meets Tehran, where the main language spoken in this winter city in Canada is Farsi, and there's this kind of deadpan style of comedy where tour guides show off the highway, where little kids are trying to free paper money from the ice. Now, it's Winnipeg, so it's cold, but there's also a surprising warmth. This is a movie that just vibrates on a different frequency, a love letter to Iran, but set in Winnipeg. I think it's remarkable. That is number 2. My number 1 film of the year is Sing Sing. And for me, this movie is what it's all about, because this is a film about the power of art to change lives. And the example that you see is that there are these prisoners in Sing Sing, the institution, and they have a theater company. And that is their escape. That is their way to break out of these walls, just sitting in that circle, improvising, creating new plays. Coleman Domingo, there he is the main character who is wrongly accused, who puts all of his frustration into his works. Clarence Macklin is one of the many actors in this movie who are playing themselves. So this is a film about how art can change lives, where imagine you left the prison, you graduated from this program, you went on parole, you're on the outside, you came back to go in front of the camera, to put on your prison uniform, to show us, to testify to the power of art. And that is why there's so many layers to this film, and the authenticity is unquestioned. And that to me is, that's what I go to the movies, to find moments of truth like this.
And you have all this on the website.
Yeah, I do.
Your favorite 24 films, and where to watch them as well, right?
Yeah.
So that is, I'll be definitely making my way through your lists as the holidays begin. So thank you so much, Eli.
Pleasure.
Senior entertainment reporter Eli Glasner.